runner, and a good friend. Please listen as he tells you all about aviation through the history of war.
Airplanes were first used for war purposes in 1914, the beginning of World War I. The introduction of aircraft brought about a new battlefield to the war, and quite an equally dangerous one at that. Since then, aviation has evolved into monoplanes, jets, and helicopters, changing the world of the skies with every improvement. The art of flight is high above the chaos of the ground below, clean in comparison, but with every innovation to make things safer, it becomes more dangerous for the contender. Going from the pioneers of World War I to the skies of Vietnam, aircraft are the most key parts to military success. In World War I, since the aircraft has been recently invented by the Wright brothers in 1903, it would make sense that they would be used in the war somehow. These airplanes, also known as biplanes and triplanes, were very dangerous and not practical when used at the beginning of the war. A man was more likely to die in training than in combat, and also these men had no parachutes. These airplanes did not have guns at this time either, but later on a real genius designed a way for the guns to shoot through the propeller. An intact system of this was found in a German plane, and the Allies found it and brought it back and used it. Bombers were not out of the question either. Near the beginning of this war, bombing a factory miles into enemy territory was preposterous. By the end, it was reality. Not only dropping bombs, but some of them were huge and equipped with guns as well. They dropped bombs in places where the ground forces could not reach, and made it very effective. And they were very effective. These planes evolved into many other things in the future. In World War I, in World War II, it was certain that these aircraft would be used, considering they have been improved over the last 2 or 3 decades. The roles of these aircraft has been branched into many different roles, from the bomber came the heavy bomber, the light bomber, the torpedo bomber, and the dive bomber. From the fighter came the heavy fighter, the night fighter, and the fighter as well. Some others were thrown into the mix, like float planes, and the attack planes, and slightly used jets. Many bombers of this time era had a very low chance of hitting a direct target from its altitude, a high altitude where many bombers were stationed. They were stationed at high altitude because their anti-aircraft guns and flak cannons were very inaccurate at this height, making them less likely to get hit. That was not the only problem. The navigator had to tell the pilot where to fly when he was looking through a bomb sight. And if all the bombers in the V tried to bomb the same place, they would collide. So the lead bomber would drop his bombs precisely, and the rest would just drop them, say adios, and hope they hit somewhere near the target. Torpedo bombers were also very tricky. If not dropped at the right altitude, speed, and exact, precise time, the torpedo would certainly drown. And that means it goes underwater and stays there forever. If done correctly, the torpedoes can have a devastating effect on aircraft carriers and battleships. Dive bombers were very successful in accuracy. They would drop down and drop the bomb as they were flying down, making it take the exact same path they was going. They needed to be nimble and able to take fire and withstand the G-force that a dive would induce on the structure. The only real problem with them was sometimes the pilot could temporarily be knocked out from the dive. fighters were very crucial when it came to bombing missions, protecting bombing sites, and turning a situation around. Most fighters were designed to be more maneuverable than the other opponent, and they had to have the armament to defend themselves into attack. They had to be able to get on another opponent's tail or to get another pilot off its tail. Those that were not maneuverable would most likely go for a fight and flight tactic or the thatch maneuver. I'll explain about the thatch maneuver. There are two wingmen, and one wingman protects the other. If one is ever attacked, they would go in a crisscross pattern, and so one wingman can get a clean shot on the other without firing at his friend. There. Next is a night fighter. Night fighter was usually a heavy fighter equipped with stealth ammunition or sometimes a radar. They were meant to get into enemy territory and cause as much havoc as possible. Jets were the most innovative aircraft in the war so far. Going from the speed propeller plane to the insane speed and unmatched comic performance of a jet. These jets were in very short supply during the war, and those that were operational were most likely closed out to testing. The only one that was used extensively during the war was the MD-262 Swallow, made by the Germans, of course. It was meant to be a blitzkrieg aircraft, but they were in very short supply, and they only made up 1% of the entire Luftwaffe. The jets were impractical and needed maintenance constantly. Not only that, the engines went for around service life of 12 hours, and the body went for around 48 hours of service life. The ones that did fly would most likely have engine burnouts and crash. Although they were dangerous and jumpy, they brought about a new line of aircraft to the war. During Vietnam War, prop fighters were out of style and jets were used more often. These jets were effective weapons, and designs were not made but only improved. If unlucky enough, the only problem was the aircraft missiles were not completely corrected yet. If unlucky enough to have no more missiles, these planes would have to use guns to take down the other enemy aircraft, which was not easy, taking into account the speed of the other aircraft and the speed of the bullet, which would eventually plummet if it ran out of speed before it hit its target. Made dogfighting pretty challenging. But the other thing about the Vietnam War was transport aircraft. They could carry troops and in some cases tanks. They proved to be very successful in moving artillery, troops, and supplies to the front line. Bombers were no longer a necessity because a jet could carry missiles fired at a target and zoom away. Bombers were sluggish compared, but could carry a huge payload, which was very good. They could drop at a very high altitude to avoid being attacked. One of which is still used by the military today, and that's what's known as the B-52 Stratofortress. This tank could carry around 60,000 pounds of payload at the time, and it could drop a bomb with a 50% accuracy from high altitude. These pioneers of the war changed what helicopters and jets are today. Without those experiments and engagements in combat years ago, most things that they have learned would not have been used today. The transformation from a biplane to the monoplane to the jet. In the future, these things may sprout into things of fiction. That will be the day of, hopefully, when war is not real, and these machines are for war are not needed anymore. Delphine. And a great friend. His hobbies include football and soccer. Please listen to him as he gives a speech on the emotional effects of war on soldiers.